Presentation was brought to you by MSU Extension and the Michigan Wheat Checkoff Program. Hello everyone, my name is Ricardo Costa. I'm a field crops educator based in Southwest Michigan. I'm also part of the MSU Extension Wheat team, and my colleague Dennis Pennant and I put together this short presentation on how to collect wheat samples and send that to the lab. One thing I hope you're aware by now, you as a wheat grower has a really nice perk. The Michigan Wheat Program, they allow you to send those wheat samples to the MSU lab, and they're gonna cover the costs of this analysis. That's really amazing. So if anything is going on in your field that you think might be related to nutrient management or pests, diseases, send those samples to the lab. The Michigan Wheat Program will cover the costs. That's just amazing. And it's really important because let's say when you're trying to figure out what your problem is and you're trying to find out which method that you're going to use to control that problem, the first step is try to find out what's going on. Don't want to try to be applying a fungicide, but the problem is related to nutrient management. So just make sure that you use that tool in your favor. And the Michigan Wheat Program is helping you with that right now. How I'm going to collect the samples? We want you to collect the whole plant, and you collect plants that are showing the symptoms but they are not dead yet. And also collect samples that they show a wide range of all progression of the symptoms. So you want plants that they are showing a lot of problems, some samples that are not showing too many symptoms. That's going to help the lab whenever they are trying to figure out what's going on in your field. Another really important thing is send the whole plant, including the roots. Also make sure whenever you're removing that plant from the soil to do that carefully. Do not pull them out of the ground. One thing I like to do, I like to use a shovel and dig around at the plants and remove that with the shovel. In that case, I'm keeping the whole plant pretty safe. Also, whenever removing that, you're going to have a lot of extra soil. Make sure to shake that soil really gently and put that soil in another bag. This is a really nice way to collect soil for nematode analysis. Also send between 5 to 10 plants because we want to make sure there is enough tissue for analysis. Put those plants in a dry newspaper before putting them in a plastic bag, okay? So put in a dry newspaper, and after that you put them in a plastic bag. You also could collect soil sample that shows soil from the both good and the bad areas of the field. What do I mean? Soil sample from the areas where we see the symptoms or the areas where the plant's looking pretty good. And you should have at least 4 to 5 cups of soil in those samples. So keep the samples in a cool area before shipping. So let's say you're collecting your samples on a Wednesday afternoon. Do not leave the samples in your truck, in your car, until next day. Okay? So if you know that you cannot send the samples to the lab right away, bring the samples back to your house, to your garage. Make sure they're in a cool place before sending them. It's also really important to take pictures. So if you can take pictures of the symptoms, that's going to help the lab to see what's going on. So take pictures of the entire field. Also, if you want to even take pictures of the plants, that is really helpful. You can email those pictures to the MSU Lab website at pestid@msu.edu. You also can print those and put that in the physical sample. But if you can save some money, why not just go and email them to the lab? There is a little bit of paperwork that you're going to need to fill out. There is a form that you're going to need to complete and submit that with your samples. This form is available at the Michigan Wheat Program website. I'm going to show you how to get there. You come here to the Michigan Wheat Program website. There is a tab here where it talks about farmer perks, and here there is Wheat Diagnostics. You're going to click and you're going to find the form here, and that's the form that needs to be sent with your samples. And it's really simple information. They're going to ask some field history here as well, and that's it. Put and submit that with your samples. Also, make sure to include your email or fax number. That's how they're going to be sent your results back. Shipping. Put the samples in a box. Do not send envelopes because that's not going to work. We prefer you to overnight or use prior delivered because we wanted to make sure that the sample they're receiving is close enough to what you saw in the field. Do not ship the samples on a Friday. The lab is closed on the weekends. If you ship on a Friday, that's going to be sitting somewhere for 2-3 days before they can take a look. I would recommend you can take the samples in the morning, can go ahead and submit that sample in the same day, and on the next day that problem is going to be already in the lab. The sample, they can be shipped to the MSU Diagnostic Service at Michigan State University at 578 Wilson Road in East Lansing. If you have any questions related to how to collect samples or how to submit the samples that was not answered here in this short presentation, contact the lab at pestid@msu.edu. You can also contact Dennis, Martin, that is also our senior with extension educator, or myself, and we're going to be glad to help you. That is it. Thank you very much for watching.